Hi, my name is Dr. Janet Miller and I'm a psychologist here in Alberta, and I've been asked to talk today about post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. PTSD, I actually am really kind of excited to talk about this because it's the only diagnosis in the whole book of the statistical manual diagnosis that psychologists and psychiatrists use in mental illness and mental health. It's the only diagnosis where the pathology is outside of the person. So in post-traumatic stress disorder, you have to have been exposed to some kind of trauma. Something happened. It could be something that your life was in danger or you witnessed someone else's life being in danger. It could be an assault, like a sexual assault or an act of violence. Something where you witnessed a traumatic event or were part of a traumatic event. That's the pathology, and that's a situation you experienced outside of yourself. We are not designed as human beings to be exposed to trauma for long periods of time. If we have an exposure to trauma where we react with coping mechanisms like hyper arousal, maybe we have startle effect, like hypervigilance, maybe we are struggling in our mood, perhaps we are feeling on edge, the sense of always being on guard. Some people have re-experience of the trauma, maybe in dreams or in flashbacks. These are actually healthy reactions to an abnormal situation. And most people who experience trauma have this kind of impact or this kind of effect. However, if it goes on and on for a month or longer, then we say it's starting to interfere with my ability to cope, my sleeping, my relationships. This is when it becomes an illness in the eyes of a psychologist. And we really want to provide support to people who have experienced trauma to help them process that experience and get back on track with their lives, enhance their resiliency, get them to the point where they're not re-experiencing the trauma, their mood is back to being to baseline who you were, you feel like yourself again. We want to be in a place where we can remember the trauma and what we were exposed to, but not be caught up on it or in it like we were experiencing it again. So with post-traumatic stress disorder, symptoms must last for more than a month past the trauma. They must interfere with our ability to cope and function. Frontline workers, medical staff, for example, firefighters, police officers are much more likely to experience post-traumatic stress disorder than the average person. But any one of us who have experienced a trauma might be susceptible to developing post-traumatic stress and disordered after a month. We know that there's lots of interventions we can offer, that there are psychology interventions through therapy, of course. There are medical interventions, and there also are many behavioral interventions being involved in our community in positive ways. Volunteerism has been shown to have a positive impact in our recovery. So if you or someone you know has been exposed to trauma and you're looking for support, please know that in Alberta we have a robust mental health system that's available to help you.